If you've never heard of the AKI engine, it's pretty much an engine used to create wrestling games. The first game I played with this engine was WCW, NWO Revenge, and I played that shit to death. That game made such an impression that if you give me the chance to play as a wrestler in any non-wrestling game, I'll do it. Every time. In '97, WCW had one of the craziest rosters. NWO, NWO Wolfpack, Cruiserweights, and this guy, who we don't talk about. Now, the AKI engine is pretty simple. You have light and heavy attacks, light and heavy grapples, context-sensitive grapples when your opponent's running at you or on the corner or on the ground. All good shit.
This is such good shit.
But it gets more complex when you figure out how to do reversals and flying moves and how to wear down body parts with submissions. There is a lot you can do with this engine. It's slow but technical, especially for a wrestling game. So we have Championship mode where you can chase a title and unlock a character. There's a Royal Rumble and there's a costume edit. Pretty bare bones, but the appeal is definitely in the gameplay. Then I find out that my cousin Mike has Wrestlemania 2000. So now the AKI engine has moved on to the WWF. And now we're in the Attitude Era. So now we've got more moves, more stages, entrance music, entrance videos, brand new career mode, and a cage match. Not only does it have the WWF roster, there's now a creator character. Holy shit, this game's way better. So I spent an eternity making my own character when I was a kid. And now all these wrestling moves and their names are burned into my head. There's a lot of shit here. So I made a character that a 15-year-old me would have made. All kicks, all high spots, no psychology, and a whole lot of fun. Then I find out that Cousin Mike has WWF No Mercy, the follow-up game to WrestleMania 2000. Unfucking believable. He's got the new hotness, and here I am with the old and busted. At that point, WCW had been out of business for years. Lucky you, Cousin Mike. Yeah, Jimmy bought a house, that's great and all, but Cousin Mike had WWF No Mercy. He's even got the expansion pack. God damn it, Cousin Mike. It's got a pretty involved story mode with branching paths, a shop with unlockable moves and wrestlers, Creator Wrestler is back and it's better than ever. And now you can do ladder matches, and overall the game just plays and looks a little better than the previous. And that would have been the last AKI engine game I ran into. Oh shit, I can't do this bit again, that's too much. Oh come on man, that's completely tasteless. So years later, a buddy of mine who isn't Cousin Mike is all like, hey, you want to play Def Jam? Not really. I mean, I can name every member of the Wu-Tang Clan, and I can tell you that Eazy-E died of AIDS, but I can't really tell you much else. But yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. But he was right. It's pretty good. It took me a second, but sure enough, this was a fucking AKI engine game, and I had no idea. So Def Jam works a little different. It's more of an arcade-style fighting game than a straight-up wrestling game. It's fast. It's crazy fast, but the grappling, striking, and flying moves work in pretty much the same way. Instead of individual moves, everyone has fighting styles that determine what they can do. And if those special moves weren't crazy enough for you, this game is something else. Don't take my word for it. They're still playing this game at CEO.
Hey, get the guaranteed follow-up. This is curtains right here. This is it.
Oh! He dropped the bottle earlier and picked that shit back up. Oh my god.
There's a story mode, but you have to make your own guy. Unfortunately, I can't beat story mode with Slick Rick, which is upsetting.
Mercy? Sorry, I'm fresh out.
We open the game with D-Mob, a gang leader who claims that he rules the streets with respect. He gets arrested and the cops give him the once-over. Then he's freed by someone who rams the car and frees D-Mob. And now we create a character, but we do it through the facial composite, based on what the cops saw. It's probably the most immersive character creator I've ever seen. And as we're going through the menus, the woman creating the image is asking us for details about the suspect. Genius. So we're following the journey of some Slavic guy whose name I can't pronounce. D-Mob brings him into the gang, and we pick a style. And now we're fighting for D-Mob, taking territory hand to hand, because apparently no one knows what a gun is. That's fine. So you can pick from 5 fighting styles and learn 2 more later on, and we're going to go martial arts to start with. Later on I took street fighting and then wrestling, which apparently equates to drunken boxing. Which, I mean, for this dude, I guess it kind of makes sense. D-Mob gives us money and then tells us to get some new gear. Getting jewelry and tattoos raises your charisma, which lets you get your finish faster. And now we have a character.
Is this enough?
Nice.
Most of the game's dialogue is heard through our T-Mobile sidekick. It's kind of like a sideways BlackBerry, I guess. Most of it's our gang just telling us what to do, and sometimes it's the rival gang telling us to go fuck ourselves. And sometimes it's Henry Rollins telling us to get our asses down to the gym, which, yeah, that makes sense. In the early game, we're guided around by a guy named Blaze, who's actually Method Man. So we're going to be working our way from the bottom, fighting for clubs, and right off the bat, we're not really going for a 3 count. The object is to get your opponent's health to danger, and then hit him with something that'll knock him out, which can be an environmental grapple, a weapon, or your character's finishing move, or a special move that comes from one of your fighting styles. Fights can drag out for a while if your opponent can't land a KO, but it gets really tense when you're trading counters for more counters. So you go to a club, clear out the underlings, and fight a boss. You win some fights, you get a girl, you win some more fights, and this gets the attention of Crow, the rival gang leader played by Snoop Dogg. He's flanked by Danny Trejo and Fat Joe, who I forgot existed. Now we take more clubs, win a free-for-all, and decide not to swap a girl out for Carmen Electra, who as it turns out is tough as nails and a great martial artist. Our boy is making his way up the ranks, which is getting on people's nerves. Rollins says hello.
Hey, this is Rollins.
Crow comes to D-Mob with a proposition. Winner takes all, and we're representing our gang against Crack. Fighting Crack is probably the game's first big roadblock. His stats are pretty high with the exception of speed, and for some reason he likes to spam the pedigree, which does a shitload of damage. On top of that, you have to listen to Fat Joe speak, which personally I'd rather stick a power drill into my fucking ear.
Yeah, you gonna lose your teeth messing with me, you heard?
After winning, we celebrate in the back of a limo and D-Mob gives us this medallion. But it's short-lived. D-Mob gets injured and we chase the gunman into the subway.
Say goodbye, bitch. Goodbye, bitch.
After that, we go back to fighting for turf, listening to threats on our phone, and we get more Henry Rollins.
Hey, this is Rollins. You better get down to the gym. I got a few new moves to show you.
Then we fight a breakdancer. The Chop Shop runs a tag team tournament for a truck. Naturally, Ice-T offers to help us. So we take it. Because I don't know who Omar Epps is. I'm sorry. I don't know. With the help of Ice-T, we win the car, and we're really humble about it. And now we fight Slick Rick, which, personally, I'm not comfortable doing. After taking more clubs, Crow's gang comes to us with a threat, and in response we destroy Magic, aka Busta Rhymes' car. You know, these sentences don't get any less ridiculous. So after winning a few more fights, Crow comes to us with an offer, which is declined.
No.
We get to the top of a UFC cage fight tournament, and now we have to fight Rollins himself. Who is tough as hell, as he should be, honestly. We scrape out a win, and Rollins is really gracious in defeat. So at this point, Crow's had enough. He ambushes and then blackmails us.
What? You don't recognize your girl's hair when you see it? Chill, man. Your girl's alright. But if you want her to stay that way, you're gonna do what I say. And I say you fight for me now. You dig it?
So now we're fighting for Crow, taking back the clubs that we originally took for D-Mob, which they obviously don't take very well. We get more threats via voice message, and Henry calls up to say hi.
Hey man, this is Rollins.
Blaze confronts us, and he takes back the medallion from D-Mob. We take the last club for Crow, who is still holding our girl ransom. He wants us to finish off Blaze, but we refuse and have a tag match, where your partner is basically dead. This fight sucks. It's pretty much impossible for Blaze to be of any help. Anyway, we win and chase down Crow, and run into Sticky, our backstabbing friend, and we fight him in some sort of inferno match. He gets burned alive and we rescue the girl. Time to finish Crow. After he's confronted, a couple of people defect and Fat Joe's on our team, which is good, I guess. I don't know. So now we fight the final boss, and eventually he gets thrown out the window. And now Crow's dead. We get the medallion and presumably our respect back. And that's probably the last game I get to play with the AKI engine.